What's good, people? Appreciate y'all tuning in to the 10th episode of Honor with Blair. It's your boy Blair, and this episode is called Quality Check. Due to the reason I feel like it's good for people to just go back and reflect on their work and see the progress they've made. And before I dive into that topic and what I just said, I do want to have an extended portion of Air Leaks, which is the news headlines to go along with the theme of Honor with Blair, and AirPod Poppers, which will also be an extended portion at the end of the episode. So diving right into Rona reports, there has been over 140,000 U.S. deaths and over 598,000 worldwide deaths. And again, being in the U.S., we aren't quite sure what those numbers are, but you can assume that that is a relative number, plus or minus some thousand or so. And again, just to be aware that this virus is real, it's a pandemic, it's taking bodies, and the CDC estimates close to 800,000 U.S. deaths by the end of 2020. And again, a lot of people have not seen their loved ones affected by it or suffer, but on the other end of the spectrum and my end of the spectrum, I do know and have seen people on the ventilators and die from this virus. So it is real. And I'm just asking people to be conscious and be aware of the virus going on. Amazon has actually extended its stay-at-home order into next year, going through January 8th. And again, although it could be better, it could be worse. Just wearing masks is such a debate in the States. Compared to Ireland, you're going to jail if you don't wear a mask on public transportation. And compared to Colombia, where the cartels are killing people for not following the stay-at-home orders in place by the government. So just to be aware that this virus is real and just to be conscious of it and just to impart that information on you all. And now moving into some interesting technology headlines. Dubai and the United Arab Emirates now have FaceTime with this new iPhone update. Although FaceTime has been around for a bit of time, the government had banned its use in this country up until now. Also, Samsung is predicting they'll have 6G up and running by 2028, which will mainly consist of holograms and holographic communication, similar to that of Star Wars. And lastly, with technology, UK is banning 5G kits by Huawei. And for those who don't know what Huawei is, it is one of the largest tech companies out of China. And due to that, UK is having concerns about privacy, and Huawei has actually threatened to slow their broadband speeds. And in other news, there are protests going on in Moscow and Congo due to their electoral systems and the people that are in political power of these respective countries being Russia and Congo. And on another note, on some lighter notes, Germany actually 3D printed a two-story house with one very massive 3D printer. So just thinking we're moving forward in trying times. With last week talking about vertical farming, now 3D printing houses. Well, in 10 years, it'll be a very interesting world that we live in. And lastly, wrapping up this news Air Leaks segment with Ecosia, a search engine that plants a tree with every search, has now planted over 100 million trees and counting. And actually, before I wrap up this news section, there were some notable passings. And before I do mention these names, I just want everybody to share their appreciation and their love for the people that they have love for, just due to when they do pass, because death is inevitable. Grief is a lot easier when you have less regret. And with that being said, Congressman John Lewis passed. He was well beloved by many of his peers. He had a major role in the civil rights movement. And that's a tough loss with the U.S. politics. He was a actually a great leader. And in entertainment, the Magic School Bus creator Joanna Cole passed away, as well as MythBusters host Grant Imahara and actress Naya Rivera. So it's a tough week in passing, and again, due to that, just share your love with the people you love, because nobody knows when it's their time to go, especially with this virus going on. And now moving on to the topic, quality check. Quality, in my opinion, stems from purpose. It stems from intentfulness and genuine love of work. And as Damien said, where life is, love is, and where love is, life is. And work is life. Everything is life. Can be life. Everything can be love. And understanding that, being intentful, and if you're doing something, doing it right, and doing it with like gratitude and compassion, that's where the best work comes from. And during this progress of work, understanding that it may not seem like improvement is being made. It may not seem like you're progressing, but if the thought is there that you want to progress and you're working and giving that time and energy to progress with whatever it is you're doing, you are progressing. Although you may not see it, you may just need to go back and look at your work and see that it's being done. There's so many times that I feel like people become reluctant and discouraged from doing work or just doing things in general, and putting effort into things in general, because they don't see progress, or they don't see things the way they want them to go. And acknowledging the things that need to be acknowledged and reflecting on the things worth reflection can be a drastic help to not only yourself, but maybe the people around you too, because you may not notice what you're projecting from your mentality of your work, or your mentality of your progress. And by that, I mean, for instance, if you feel like you're shit at something and you almost become irritated and agitated, how that can affect your external and the people around you, and not just the people around you, but yourself as well. Because I feel like we all share a collective conscious and a collective energy to some extent. The more you become tapped in with love and life in general. And again, I will always reiterate what Damien mentioned last episode, where life is, love is, and where love is, life is. And that is can be found within work. And being intentful is important. So don't stop what you're doing. If you have an intent, if you have a mission, if you have a goal, stick with it. Again, there can be so many things that can deter you from it. But even if something sideways happens and it kind of knocks you off that path, that adds to a page that can be stacked up to make a grand book. And that's a lesson. There are lessons in everything. Everything is a guru, as Damien said. Everything shares some insight. Everything shares some light. Whether it be any state of, not even state, whether it be anything. And I encourage people to stick with their work. You're making progress, even if you don't feel like you aren't. And not just work, with whatever activity or whatever thought, whatever state of mind that you want to improve or get better at, you are getting better at it by having that intent and having that time and energy put into it. And that's the importance of reflection, to see how much you have improved and to thank yourself. And by that, I mean thanking your past self for starting you on a path or mission in general, and seeing that in the future you'll be even more thankful for the now that you're in, recognizing and understanding that you have to keep going and to not be discouraged, and celebrate your work, celebrate your progress, celebrate your work, and celebrate with those around you. Too often, things as simple as birthdays do not get celebrated, just to them feeling like another day. But being Black, there was a time where in America and across the world with slavery, where Black people didn't even know their birthdays. They had no way to even account for their birthdays. And to just, again, that's a reflection on its own, to be thankful that the progress that's been made, and to know that things will continue to get better. Although time is relative, as much things in life, but to never be discouraged when you feel like not enough progress is being made, because progress is in some form or fashion is being made with that intent and energy and time being put in. And with that being said, I want to thank not just myself, but those around me, those that listen to the podcast, from the start to now to in the future. And genuinely thank you, and I appreciate it, because I've learned and I'm yet to learn a lot more things, and people are yet to gain and benefit from a lot more things than what has been set up to this point. And with that being said, things will be readdressed. I want to break trends of having things just talked about for an episode, or things go on for a week or 2 weeks, then be forgot about and not listened to again. So, for instance, Tech 9 with Chase, that'll probably be readdressed. Chase will definitely be back on another episode in the future. Mental wealth, I will definitely dive deeper into that topic, because I feel like that is a major topic worth addressing and defining, which I personally feel like I did not dive quite into as much as I needed to initially. So just being aware and seeing where things can be improved upon, and not so much knocking yourself or feeling bad that you didn't do enough, because things can always be done and improved upon. And again, using this as a time capsule and a ongoing documentary, as a catalog, as a journey, it's very interesting. It'll be interesting to see, and intriguing more than anything. And again, I just want to give my thanks, and leave you all with a couple songs and tunes for some AirPod poppers. All right, now some AirPod poppers for you all. First one being Atherton _hi-fi by Toro Imoy. All of these names and songs can be found on the On Air with Blair Instagram page. Next, Cornerstone, 7 Digits Instrumental by Rich Gaines and Nico Segal. Nico Segal, aka Donnie Trumpet, is called with the trumpet. And this beat is just cold. It's a vibe. It's something you can listen to in your house. I feel like it's a good party song, and just vibe to it really. Next, Cornerstone by Trevor Lawrence Jr. and Kamasi Washington. More of a jazz type feel to it. And Kamasi Washington is nice. Everybody should tap in with him. He's smooth with it. So, I want to let this beat ride for a little bit. Definitely tap into Cornerstone. And again, all these can be found on the Honor with Blair Instagram page. Next, moving on to some songs with words. The first being Toast by Coffee. Coffee, young girl from Jamaica. I feel like everybody should have heard this song last year, but if you haven't, definitely tap in. I just want to expand people's taste in music. This song is so cold. Like, oh. I gotta let this one play. Alright, next, Oxygen by Smino. This was the first song I heard by Smino. He killed this. It was on Black Jupiter. Man, need some oxygen after this. That is right. Lastly, Crew, Richie South remix of. So obviously Gold Link, Shy Glizzy, and Brent Fayez. But this remix has a few more hi-hats in it, which I feel like makes the song bump a little bit more. So definitely tap in with this. And I'm going to leave y'all with this. I appreciate y'all tapping into this last episode, or this 10th episode of Honor with Blair. And I can't express my love and appreciation enough for everybody that's tapped in thus far and that will in the future. Genuinely, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day, night, whenever you listen to it. Just enjoy. Appreciate it.